What's going on, everybody? This is Tony from Strictly Better MTG. I'm bringing you guys my Abzan Rally sack deck, and it's just really solid. It's really solid. It's very synergistic and very consistent, and it's done a lot of good for me. So I figured I'd share it with everyone on the channel. And following the deck tech, I'm going to have some testing footage up for you guys. So look forward to that. That's going to be up within like hours of this video, probably. So let's go ahead and fire off the deck tech. We've got our 1-drop slot at Blister Pod, and it's a great 1-drop. Not just in the sack deck, like all the way around, this is a very good 1-drop. For 2-drop slot, we've got Carrier Thrall. This is actually a really solid 2-drop for us, just very synergistic with the deck, so I felt like we had to run it. Next up, we've got Zulaport Cutthroat, and this is really what inspired the deck, pretty much. So that Drain 1 is really nice, but since it has 1 power on there as well, we can use it offensively in certain matchups, and that's also nice. There he is, Hangerback Walker. We love seeing this in 2-drop slot. He's a constructed all-star right now. He's just great. He does all the things. You know, being able to get like anywhere from a minimum of 2 to I've seen like 5 and 6 sacrifice activations come off of this. So at 5 and 6 sack activations from our next one, which starts our 3 drops, and that's going to be Catacomb Sifter. Arguably, some people would say run Grim Haruspex in this slot because you get to draw cards, so more card advantage, and that's always nice. But I went for this one because at 3 mana we get 2 guys that we can then sack, and that's just great. That is absolutely great. Not only that, but the Scry is very important, and also off like Collected Company, we get our Scion token. So that can set us up for turn 4 plays, as well as end of our opponent's turn. After, like, if we turn 2 Hangerback Walker, turn 3 Catacomb Sifter, we can then sack the Scion we got from the Sifter and tap the Hangerback Walker to put an additional counter on him. And that's great. That's huge synergy. The next 3-drop is probably very obvious. We needed a sacrifice outlet, so we went with Nantuko Husk. You can get him off Collected Company. He's easy enough to get back with Rally the Ancestors. He's great to find with Gather the Pack. And he's just an all-around good, like, defensive and aggressive creature, especially in this deck. We're running 2 copies of Liliana Heretical Healer. She's really easy to flip in this deck, plus being able to reanimate our Cutthroat or Husk as soon as she flips, in case we need her to do that. We can also get back like a Carrier Thrall or a Catacomb Sifter or even a Blister Pod. Like whatever we need her to do, she does all the things. And if you get her ultimate off in this deck, it just says win the game. Moving on to spells, we've got 3 copies of Gather the Pack. It puts things in the graveyard for Rally the Ancestors, and it helps us find our creatures. With Spell Mastery, it becomes card advantage for us, getting us 2 of our creatures. 4 copies of Rally the Ancestor. This is what enables this deck to have a combo. We want to cast this for 5 mana, double white and 3, which we can sacrifice Scion tokens to get the other 3, which we have, 11 generators for that in this deck, all of which can be hit off Collected Company. The other 4 of spell that we run. When you see this thing go off, it's absolutely nuts. People don't always see it coming, like especially game 1. The mana base seems a little funky, I'm sure, from where you're sitting. We've got 4 copies of Bloodstained Mire, 4 copies of Windswept Heath, 4 copies of Wooded Foothills. That's right, 12 fetches, because we want to be able to have whatever mana we want at any time we want. So it's perfect. And we're running 2 basic forests because we'd either like to have one in our opening hand or be able to fetch one so that we can turn 1 Blister Pod. Sideboard tech real quick though. We've got 3 copies of Abzan Charm. We're already in Abzan colors, so having Abzan Charm is just pretty sweet for us. A lot of people probably overlook the 2+1/+1 counters on Abzan Charm, but in this deck, at 4 mana instant speed to get 3 counters on Hangerback Walker. I say 4 because you need 1 to tap Hangerback, plus the 3 for the Abzan Charm. and you can get 3+1/+1 counters on your hangerback walker. That's really big. There's lots of good interaction between Abzan Charm in this whole deck, and it almost went main board, but I just wanted to focus on how it is, and like I said, it's been doing good. So you guys can debate and question and comment on everything down below. Next up, we've got 2 copies of Display of Dominance. This card is going to be huge in the new standard format because it takes out Omnixilus. It takes out, let's see, Sorin, Narset, Kiora, Jace, Liliana, Sarkin Unbroken. Like, there's so many great targets that we can take out with Display of Dominance. Like, it's a 2 mana instant speed, here, kill this Planeswalker. That's great. That's awesome. At the same time, in the same instance, we can get protection from Sultai Charms and Abzan Charms and a Ruinous Path and whatnot. Like, there's so many other removal spells that we can just get. So yeah, Display of Dominance all day. Nice 2 of. Potentially a 3 of. You could go 3 of if you think your meta demands it. Then we've got 2 copies of Kolaghan's Command, and what else to say about Kolaghan's Command? It's good. Aside from that, we've got 2 copies of Surge of Righteousness, and Surge of Righteousness is just pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. Since it's black or red, Thunderbreak Regent is still a big thing for dragons, and being able to take it out and gain 2 life at the same time, meaning we only take 1 damage from the Thunderbreak Regent if there's only 1 out there, that's pretty handy to reduce that damage. At the same time, we can take out Anafinza the Foremost and Siege Rhino and some of the other like black and red important creatures that we would have to worry about, and gain 2 life at the same time. Some people are gonna say like you should run a Ration Cleric in this place because it's 2 mana for a 1/3 jump blocker that we can also sack, and we get to gain 3 life, so all the way around, that's a fine card. I can totally understand if you guys want to run a Ration Cleric over Surge of Righteousness, but Surge of Righteousness is my preferred preference because Abzan is still going to be a very prevalent force in this format. Hey, I mean, we're playing Abzan for Pete's sake. So being able to take out some of their creatures at instant speed and gain 2 life, it's nice. In my opinion, that is what we want. After that, we've got 3 copies of Ruinous Path. This is probably the most flexible slot in the deck, in the sideboard at least, just because there's plenty of good options we could run besides Ruinous Path, but sometimes you just want to be able to kill a creature or a planeswalker, so I went with Ruinous Path. Maybe my numbers are off, maybe I should only be running 2 of instead of 3 of, but when we want it, we always have it, and that's why I'm running 3, so that I always have it when I want it. And then lastly, we've got Transgress the Mind for some hand disruption against control. It's control type decks. Yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. You could also run Duress if you wanted to because it's 1 mana, and that's fine. That's good. Duress still takes care of all the things you need to, but with Transgress the Mind, being able to like exile their board wipes so they don't get Den Protector tricks and whatnot is just great. Not only that, but you can also exile whatever you need to or want to, Death Mist Raptors, Siege Rhinos, Eldrazi, all sorts of stuff. So, Transgress the Mind is the option I went for, just because it lets us hit more things than Duress. In some ways. There's always an option for Transgress the Mind, except in the, 1 and 2 drop only deck, which it may be a thing, but even then, I think they still end up running, Exquisite Firecraft or something. Ruinous Path or some other 3-drop spell that we want to take care of. So Transgress the Mind helps in those matchups. And that's it, folks. That is it, Wizards. That's the deck tech. You could potentially run, Den Protector somewhere in this deck, and that would be fine. That would be completely acceptable. You could also, I mentioned this earlier, upgather the pack to a 4 of instead of 3 of, and that would be fine. I thought about cutting a land, but we need our land drops. We really need our land drops. So I'm keeping it at 24 lands for now. You guys, if you like it, give me a like. If you don't like it, leave me some comments. Let's debate and discuss these ideas, because this deck has a lot of great potential, especially in Standard, and it's very competitive. If you like this video, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out, helps the channel grow, shows your support and everything, and that's always awesome. You guys are already awesome for watching. If you do those things, you're just gonna go up in awesomeness. And who doesn't want to be more awesome? It's really good though. It's really solid, it's really fun, it's really consistent. It can be aggressive or defensive. We've got powerful card effects in here. There's just so much that can be said about this deck. I can't even. I can't even. That's it. I can't even. Alright?